Good afternoon, everybody. It's me again, Al Tartaglia, with Voices and Votes. And I thought about what I wanted to talk about this time. And to me, inflation seemed like the good topic to go with. I remember on the campaign trail, President Trump promised to lower prices for us. He promised to lower prices on everything: homes, food, energy, entertainment, everything. He would have these conferences and he'd bring out a basket of goods and say, these are too expensive. I'm going to lower them. I will tell you this right now. Presidents do not have the power to do this. If they did, why would any president let prices increase while they're in power? They're in power and charge, whether they're the president, right? You remember back in '08, during Bush's second term, we had very large gas increases in prices. During Biden, we had temporarily we had like 8-9% inflation, and it's gone down. And Trump is promising to lower prices. The problem with lowering prices is that's bad. We are a growing economy, and as the economy grows, we're going to have natural inflation built into it. So when you start lowering prices, usually that means we are headed towards a recession, if not a depression. You want prices to go up, and you want them to be stable. The Fed has a target rate of 2%. They've had that for a while. Historically, our inflation in the U.S. has been around 3.5%, I believe. So let me get started with this. I want to go over two terms real quick. There's nominal and real. Nominal is the value in current dollars, not adjusted for inflation. I got a 5% raise. Okay, I got my salary went up 5%. Now the real is the value adjusted for inflation. I got a 5% raise. Let's say inflation is 6%. My purchasing power is negative 1%. Even though I had a 5% raise, prices went up 6%. I cannot buy as much as I could the year before. And it could happen sometimes. You might get a 5% raise and inflation is 4%. So that means your purchasing power increased by 1%. It does go both ways. So, and then when we talk about inflation, there's two things that the Fed tracks. There's CPI, the Consumer Price Index, and there's PCE. It's the Personal Consumption Expenditure. So what is CPI? And I have my notes, so I'm going to read them to you. It measures what urban consumers pay out of pocket for a fixed set of goods. And what is PCE? PCE is the Personal Consumption Expenditure. It captures a broader picture, including what households consume but might not pay for directly, and adapts more quickly to changing spending patterns. Because the difference is PCE inflation is typically a bit lower and smoother than CPI inflation. I do know the Fed focuses on core PCE. With that, when they say core, that means it's excluding volatile items like food and energy, because food can go up and come back down a little bit. Energy can be all over the place. I mean, remember a couple of years ago we had $5 a gallon gas, and now we're back to like I paid $3.20 I think this morning a gallon to fill up my car. So there's that. So let's go with CPI right now. Remember, Trump promised you, me, everybody, regardless if you voted for him, he promised it for America, right? He talks about it's America. I do this for America. Year over year change as of May, end of May, all items on the CPI have gone up 2.4%. Food alone has gone up 2.9%. Food at home, which is what, you go to the grocery store, you buy your food, 2.2%. Food away from home, when you go out to eat, food inflation has gone up 3.8%. Energy has gone down 3.5%, but natural gas piped in has gone up 15%. Electricity has gone up 4.5%. Gasoline has gone down 12%. All items less food and energy, core. So this is core CPI, has gone up 2.8%. That means prices from last year this time in May have gone up 2.8%. So shelter example is in this, 3.9%. Rent of primary residence, 3.8%. Owner's equivalent rent, that is what the Fed, when they do a survey, they ask you, what would you rent your house out for? So that price has gone up 4.2%. Medical services, 3%. Motor vehicle insurance, 7%. Used cars and trucks, 1.8%. Apparel has gone down 0.9%, but that's from the news. It's been said that should start going back up now, because even though we've lowered tariffs from like 200% to China, 50% tariff on something is still 50%, and that cost will get passed on. Businesses are in the business to make money. They're not going to eat all the costs. They might eat some of it, but they're not going to eat all of it. New vehicles have gone up 0.4%. Alcohol beverages 1.5%. Tobacco and smoking products 6.3% increase. Now this is all CPI. So again, and remember, CPI is for urban consumers. But the president promised us prices would go down from day one. That was not something I said. That's something he promised. Day one, prices would go down. Prices are going up still. They're going to continue to go up because presidents don't control inflation. Why would a president let prices go high? Well, if I could control inflation, why would I not just pick, I'm going to go to 1980 level prices when homes cost $60,000? I'll keep today's income and I'll go to 1980 prices. If that was something somebody could do, why would they not do it? So you can take us back to 2020 prices. You can't. He could promise that. He can't. He promised lower prices. He can't. So now let's go to overall PCE index is 2.3. Core. Now this is what the Fed looks for. 2.7. Now remember, the Fed has the interest rate set at 2%. That's where they want inflation to be at, 2%. 2.7% is higher than 2. So durable goods has gone up 0.5%. Non-durable goods has gone up 1.2%. Services, that 3.5%. Housing and utilities, 4.1%. You see this when you pay your bills. My water bill's gone up. My sewer bill's gone up. We live here in Indianapolis, where I live. AES is asking for a 17% increase in their rate charge over the next 2 years. My electricity is going to go up no matter what. Healthcare services, 3.2%. Transportation services, 3%. Financial services and insurance, 3.8%. Okay. Home insurance is in that. Car insurance is that. Recreation services, entertainment, 2%. Education services, 2.5%. That is for college. And there's another reason. That actually has slowed down recently, but there's another reason why that's gone up. We don't fund the universities like we used to. But that's a different topic. I won't get into that one. Food services and accommodation, 4.5%. Other services, 1.7%. Food and beverages, altogether, 3.5% increase. Energy, goods, and services, 3.8%. And that gives us to the core of 2.7%. Again, we were lied to. I knew when I heard him say that it was false. He couldn't do that. But people put hope in this, be like, my price has gone up. I understand it. Prices have gone up, and it sucks. It sucks when you pay more money for the same thing you got last year. Or in some cases, when you have shrinkflation, you're paying more money for less. I was at Costco the other day. It was $4.99 a pound for beef. Last year, it was $3.99 a pound. I like to buy a certain coffee at Costco. I get it. It's from I don't remember the name of the coffee. I just like the way it tastes. It was $12 a month or two ago. It's $18 now. I bought a car part in November for my Jeep. It was $161. With tax, it was $172. That same part now is $173. I looked it up. I was just curious today, and I have the part number. It was for my Jeep. It was 68391-566AB. My latch on my roof broke on my soft top. So prices are going to continue to go up no matter what they do. If the Fed were to lower interest rates like Trump has been asking them to, that's going to put more money into the system. And we saw what happens when you put a lot of money into the system after COVID. People were spending money left and right because it was cheaper money. You borrow more and you can spend more, and it doesn't cost you as much. A 2.3% home loan buys you a lot more home than a 6% home loan. So when prices go down, if he wants to lower interest rates, prices are going to go up. Home prices will go up again even further once rates start coming down. So I just want you to remember, when politicians promise you things that sound too good to be true. They're too good to be true. That's something my father told me. My dad's from Brooklyn. I know the president's from Queens. I grew up in Brooklyn. I've always been wary of people promising me things that don't make sense. And it's hard for people when they're struggling to be like, oh my God, yeah, he's going to help me. But he can't. There's nothing he can do right now for you, for me, for anybody to lower these prices. So you have to go in clear-minded and realize we're going to have inflation regardless. We can have deflation when the costs slow down, but they're still going up, which is different than, no, let me walk that back. Disinflation. We can have disinflation when the costs slow down on how fast they go up. Deflation is when prices go down, and that's a bad sign. I'm still getting used to this medium, talking out loud, so I might mix words. If I catch myself, I will correct it immediately, like I just did. I just want you all to remember that prices are not going down. They're not going to go down. I wish they would, in a sense, because I would like to spend less so I have more money to go enjoy things with my family. But I would just let you all please be wary of politicians who promise you things that seem too good to be true. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. Even if inflation goes down to 2%, prices are still increasing 2% a year. I mean, they're not going down. Your grocery bill is not going to go down. And I know it's everybody was worried about groceries. Your grocery bill is not going to go. I'm telling you right now, your grocery bill under Trump, we have 3.5 years left, will not go down. It won't. Unless we have a recession, it won't go down. And I know I don't want a recession, and I know the president says he doesn't want a recession. So keep that in mind when you hear him promise anything else to you on top of this. Anything else, keep in mind, he cannot complete this promise. He's not going to complete the other promises. I'll leave you with that. So remember, you have a voice, go use it.